Today we're going to go through the 4 eras of the Confederate flag. Now I want to show you what the Confederate flag looked like throughout the different eras, and then we're going to actually explain what exactly it stood for. I'm going to read to you what the Confederate states said that they were seceding for. They told us why they were seceding. It wasn't a secret, and nowadays people are trying to rewrite history, but they actually gave documents, and I'm going to read one of those documents to you today. So here's what the Confederate flag looked like back in 1861. It was very different, but you can notice most of them have a commonality of that little flag in the corner that looks like what you think of today as the Confederate flag. Now, all the different states wrote articles of secession of some kind. And in Georgia, they wrote a Declaration of Secession that actually has some specific language that I'm going to read to you, and you'll understand exactly why they were seceding. So this happened right when Abraham Lincoln was actually elected. The Emancipation Proclamation didn't come till 1863. That was when he said slavery, we're ending it throughout the whole country. But the Confederate states already knew what he was all about. They knew that he was against slavery. I'm going to read you the official documents of why Georgia said they seceded, and remember the other states have similar documents with similar verbiage. In all the non-slaveholding states, in violation of the good faith and comity which should exist between entirely distinct nations, the people have formed themselves into a great sectional party, now strong enough in number to control the affairs of each of those states, based upon an unnatural feeling of hostility to these southern states and their beneficent and patriarchal system of African slavery, proclaiming the debasing doctrine of equality of all men, irrespective of race or color, a doctrine at war with nature, in opposition to the experience of mankind, and in violation of the plainest revelations of divine law. So they're saying it's debasing to bring all people to the same level. To equalize the system, they said, that's debasing. It goes against natural and divine law. And other states said very specifically that it goes against God's law. And it's so very plain and very clear that the secession of the states was about slavery. They all said it. You don't have to worry about why Abraham Lincoln said this or did that. They told us what they were seceding for. So that's the first era of the Confederate flag. It stood for those states that believed that, okay? The second era was actually in the 1940s. But before this, the flag had just gone away. It really was not something that people flew around. Then in the 1940s, they were trying to integrate. They were trying to end segregation. There were a lot of people who were against integration and were pro-segregation. So the Ku Klux Klan brought the flag back. Yes, the Ku Klux Klan brought back the Confederate flag. And then the Dixiecrats, which were Democrats that were pro-segregation, started using the flag for the purpose of pro-segregation propaganda. So that's the 1940s, that's era 2. It was pro-segregation, Ku Klux Klan, and Dixiecrats that were using this flag. And then in the 1960s, when we had Martin Luther King and the Civil Rights Movement, it was flown by people who were against the Civil Rights Movement, who were against Dr. King. Now we're in the 4th phase now. We're in the 4th era of the Confederate flag. What does it mean to you? Because the other 3 tell us what the heritage really is. So do you want to take a symbol like that and create a different meaning, recreate history, and call it a different kind of heritage? Because the historical facts tell us it was for slavery, which was brutal. Era 2, it stood for segregation. Era 3, it stood against human rights for African Americans. And now era 4, from where I'm standing, it looks like a continuation of what it's always meant. I know its history, I know its heritage, and I'm going to stay as far away from that symbol of hate as I can get. You guys tell me what you think in the comments. If you want more content like this, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.